Starship prepares for Flight 8. SpaceX builds a second launch tower over its starbase. My name is Connor, and welcome to another episode of Spaceflight News. It's that time again. Starship Flight 8 is just around the corner. SpaceX is moving full speed ahead, preparing for another test flight of the world's most powerful rocket. With the last flight now in the books, they're wasting no time getting ready for the next vehicle test flight. But what's the latest news in Starbase? Let's dive in. Ship 34 is now receiving its engines, marking a major milestone before testing actually begins. After the unexpected failure of Ship 33, SpaceX has been hard at work upgrading critical systems in the engine bay. This time, the vehicle will feature improved venting to prevent overpressure buildups and fire suppression systems for added safety. With the engine installation now underway, a static fire test could be just a few weeks away, and if all goes well, Flight 8 might happen sooner than expected. Meanwhile, Ship 35 is making rapid progress. If Flight 8 is successful, Ship 35 could be the first vehicle to attempt a booster catch on the very next flight. But that's not all. Over at Starbase, a second launch tower is now fully equipped. Tower B has received its very own set of chopsticks, meaning SpaceX now has 2 operational launch towers in the Starbase sector. This is a major step towards their goal of rapidly launching and reusing Starship, which can't risk a single point of failure should a run occur on the launch pad unexpectedly. Having redundancy in launch towers allows for simultaneous launches and prevents launch delays for other flights if damage occurs to the launch tower. With the chopsticks now installed, teams are finalizing hydraulic actuators and control systems, preparing them for full-scale testing. Back on the ground, SpaceX is reinforcing its infrastructure. A brand new flame diverter is being built to handle sheer power of Starship's 33 Raptor engines. Water tanks for the water deluge system are now also being expanded, ensuring better pad protection and faster turnaround times between each launch. With upgraded vehicles, 2 operational towers, and major infrastructure improvements, SpaceX is pushing harder than we've ever seen, closing in on the next phase of Starship development. The big news now? When will Flight 8 actually take to the skies? We don't know exactly yet, but stay tuned, because we'll let you know as soon as it gets released. Things are really moving fast down at Starbase. Now onto other news this week. First up, the James Webb Space Telescope, a beacon of astronomical achievement, is facing a budgetary black hole. Despite outperforming every expectation, NASA has been asked to slash James Webb Space Telescope's operating budget by a significant 20% of the fiscal year in 2026. This cut threatens to dim the light of scientific discovery, affecting everything from astronomers' support to the functionality of the telescope's instruments. The reason? Initial cost estimates that now seem very overly optimistic. Star Vision Aerospace Group Limited, in collaboration with Chinese and Turkish universities, is gearing up to send small robots to the moon aboard the Chang'e 8 mission, slated for 2028. This marks a giant leap for private enterprise in China's space efforts, potentially paving the way for more commercial lunar missions. In propulsion news, Draco Project, a joint venture by NASA and DARPA to test nuclear thermal propulsion, is hitting a snag. The project's Earth orbit test is now delayed indefinitely due to challenges in conducting a safe ground test for the technology, which promises greater efficiency than traditional chemical propulsion. Shifting gears now to defense, President Trump has commanded the acceleration of space-based missile defense systems, dubbed the Iron Dome for America. This new directive aims to fortify the US against hypersonic weapons and other advanced threats from above, with a proposal for the system's architecture due in just 60 days. Moving on now from defense into commerce, Sen, a London-based company, has started broadcasting Earth in stunning 4K from the International Space Station. This high-definition perspective of our planet is now streaming live, with Sen looking to monetize the feed through ads, sponsorships, and subscription. Check it out if you can. Over now in Europe, Thales Alenia Space is making waves with 2 significant contracts. First, a hefty €367 million deal with ESA to develop the EN Vision mission to Venus, targeting a 2031 launch window to unravel the planet's mysteries. Second, nearly $900 million is being funneled into the development of a lunar descent element for the Argonaut lander, aiming to facilitate European payloads to the lunar South Pole. Back on Earth, the FAA is navigating through regulatory asteroids as it works to transition existing launch licenses to a new, streamlined version by March 2026. This move is part of a broader effort of the public sector to try to keep up with the rapid pace of the private space companies. Finally, in a celestial spectacle, astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore have completed a critical spacewalk outside the International Space Station. Not only did they manage to retrieve a stubborn antenna, but they also set a new world record and conducted scientific experiments that could inform future missions. Now onto launches this week. On January 27th, SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral, carrying 21 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. Starlink continues to expand its global coverage, providing high-speed internet access to even the most remote locations. As usual, the booster made a successful landing, marking yet another step towards SpaceX's goal of rapid reusability. Then, on January 29th, the Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO launched a GSLV Mk2 rocket, carrying a new communication satellite. The Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, GSLV, is India's workhorse for delivering heavy payloads into orbit. This latest mission is aimed at enhancing India's telecommunication network, further strengthening connectivity across the region. And on January 30th, another Falcon 9 launched, this time from Kennedy Space Center, carrying the SpainSat NG-1 satellite. This next-generation geostationary satellite built by Airbus for Spain is part of the Secure Communication Satellite for military and governmental use. SpainSat NG-1 is equipped with advanced X-band and Ka-band transponders, ensuring secure high-speed data transmission from Spain's armed forces and allied nations. This launch is part of a two-satellite system that will eventually replace the existing SpainSat fleet, providing greater capacity, better resilience, and improved coverage over Europe, the Americas, and the Middle East. With each of these missions, space agencies around the world continue to push the boundaries of communication, connectivity, and innovation in the space sector. That's it for this week's episode of Spaceflight News. With new Starship developments, exciting satellite launches, and more news on the horizon, the pace of space exploration isn't slowing down anytime soon. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Spaceflight News.